Bam, we're live. And all right, looking like things are popping, happening. Let's get everything set up. Welcome. Any of you here early? We'll be going in just a minute. Not big deal. It just takes a minute or two to get everybody set up, lined up. Get you guys going in a minute here. All right, we're just getting started, guys. Just bear with me. All right, let's go. Welcome. Good to see you guys. A few more people will probably join, and we'll go from there. All right, so the good old scope creep. Yeah, that's a lot of guys when they're new to contracting, they don't realize that the homeowner knows more about it than they do. If you ever have a homeowner come up to you and say, hey, while you're here, or while your guys have the ladder out, yeah, that's called scope creep. And what it is that homeowners knows that that's their way of saying, can you do it for free? And most guys trying to be nice feel bad charging at that point, right? And they get sucked in, they get suckered. So don't let the homeowner sucker you into the old scope creep. All right, folks, we're going to jump right in and get started here. Bear with me one second. All right. Those of you on the YouTube, I'll share the screen. Those of you over on TikTok, just know that you can't see the screen. Welcome. We're talking about scope creep. It's when the homeowner starts asking for free work. Yep. So if we can help you with any of that, I'm going to get started. I'm just going to do my presentation. And at the end, those of you that have questions, you start firing away. So here's what happens. You need to prevent scope creep, all right? And why this matters. So running a remodeling business is somewhat like being in quicksand. Oftentimes, you don't even realize how deep you're in as far as losing profit margin, right? You start a job, you think everything's going good. The homeowner starts hitting you up, asking you to help out, do a few extras. You don't know any better. So the next thing you know, your guys are doing like a week's worth of work for free, all because you don't have a proper change order process and you're afraid to say no. So you're getting crushed, and the homeowner knows it. When they come up to you and say, hey, while you're here, you can just already in the back of your mind go, here it comes. They're going to ask for free work. Now, they won't when you set up a proper change order process and you add that to your presentation. We talked about that the other night. You need to bring that up before you ever start the job. But if you didn't, that's all right. You can start doing it moving forward. All right, so here's what happens. And understand that these homeowners, they're savvy, they're sharp, they know this, and they're taking advantage of you. Don't let that happen. So, I mean, even Harvard Business Review knows this stuff. The majority of project delays and cost overruns are tracked back to poor scope definition and ineffective change order control systems, right? So here it is. You sell the job, you get started, the homeowner notices that your guy's up on a ladder doing the siding, and then he goes, hey, Joe, while you're here, you think the guy could fix this? And you're like, yeah, sure. right? You feel bad. Whereas what you should be saying is, we absolutely can fix it. Let me give you the change order. Here's how much it's going to cost. You have to pay for it now, and then we'll go ahead and get it done today. Okay. And it's just as respectful and nice. And that's how a professional responds to a request for additional work. Absolutely can do it. Here's how much it's going to cost. Need you to authorize it and pay for it today so we can get started. So those are change orders, and you need to be presenting that whole process before the job ever starts. That way the homeowner knows, because you tell them, hey, Mr. and Ms. Smith, while our guys are working here, we know you're going to like how much we're doing, and you're going to see other things that you wish you would have had done that aren't on the scope, and you're going to be tempted to want to come up to my guy while he's on the ladder or while we're doing this and say, hey, could you guys do that? And I want you to understand that we absolutely can do it, and here's the process for how you do it. We get a change order going, and then you sign it and pay for it, and then we get it done for you. Perfect process. So remodeling is no different than any other industry. And here's a brutal truth. If you're letting it happen, then it's not the client's fault. Most remodelers unknowingly invite this scope creep in. They're literally shooting themselves in the foot. All right. Because it's the language that they use and what they fail to use. It's the way they respond to the requests and the lack of boundaries that we use up front. I was guilty of this in the beginning, right? So preventing scope creep isn't about being a jerk or rigid. It's just having a professional process. It's if you went to the grocery store and you had a bunch of items in your cart and you are in the checkout line paying for it and you've just handed over the cash, let's say it was $100, and then you say, by the way, since I'm already here at the grocery store, I want to throw on another steak and a pound of shrimp. Can you just do that for me at no charge? The grocer is going to look at you and go, yeah, we can do it, but you're going to pay for it. Right? You would never do that. You wouldn't just ask, oh, I'm at the grocery store. I just bought all these groceries. Come on, you can throw me some extras for free. It never happens. But yet in remodeling, it happens all the time. So it's on you as the owner of your business to shut it down and stop being stupid. Really, you're just being unwise, let's say. All right. And so if you utilize applied relational intelligence, is what we talk about, ARI, it's the way you talk to the homeowner, you can shut this down and get paid all at the same time. So how do you do that, you ask? Well, you set expectations up front. You provide a client clear directions, and you handle the request calmly and firmly. If it's not you on site, your project manager or lead carpenter should be handling this for you. Hey, Mr. and Ms. Smith, we can absolutely fix that item up there for you. No problem. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a couple minutes, write up the change order. I'm going to get it over to you so you can authorize it and pay for it. And then we'll go ahead. If you can get what you're supposed to get done today, which is signing and paying for it, I can go ahead and make that repair for you today. How does that sound? That's the way you talk to them. So mid-project scope creep is literally just the client asking you for just that little bit extra. Hey guys, you're already here. The truck's here. I see you got the tools out. Can we just, can we move this a little bit? Can you change that? You've heard it before. What if we just added another one of these in there? I mean, it's not a big deal, right? They know it's a big deal. And some homeowners do this on purpose. That's the thing that's going to kill a bunch of you. There are certain homeowners, when you're doing the job and signing them up, they already know that they want additional work, and they don't ask for it in the original contract because their plan is to see if you'll do it for free later. When you start realizing that, then I think some of you will start saying, damn, I got to stop being taken advantage of. Homeowners are smart, they're savvy, and a lot of times they take advantage of the good nature of a remodeler. Stop letting that be you. Stand up for yourself. Have some pride and some self-respect for the work that you do. Okay? You're not being a nice guy by doing it for free. You're being taken advantage of. You can still be nice and charge a profit. So yeah, if I'm doing the kitchen and the homeowner says, while you're here, you think you could paint the dining room? I'm not doing it without a change order. Does that make sense? I think you get it. So the solution, it's not to say no. It's yes, I'll do all these extra things, but it's having a defined process. Okay. And you separate the new request from the original contract and the original price. See, where a lot of guys get confused is they sign up a $30,000 kitchen remodel. And while they're there, they do 3 or 4 extra things. And then at the end, you try to collect for it. And it's a nightmare. It almost never works. You don't do it that way. The minute the work extra is asked for, you write up a change order. You don't change the original contract at all. That price stays the way it is. Those payment terms stay the way they are. Here's the new change order to accommodate the additional request. Those are always signed for immediately and paid for upfront 100%. I don't even care if it's a $10,000 change order. You don't touch it until they pay for it upfront. And you don't wait till they ask for it to explain the process. You, being a professional remodeler, when you're meeting with them and they're signing the bath project or the kitchen remodel, you say, you know what, Mr. and Ms. Smith, we're looking forward to doing this kitchen. I want to share something with you. Many of our clients like the work that we're doing so much that when we start the job, they come up to us and recognize there's a bunch of other things around the house that they would like us to do. So they ask us to take care of that additional work. We love doing that, and they love us for doing it as well. And here's how we do that. We do what's called a change order. There's a processing fee, there's paperwork, you sign it, you authorize it, you pay for it, we complete it. All right, I think you guys get the picture. So if anyone has any questions about that, please put a comment in. If you're not using change orders now, like tomorrow, you start doing a change order. So you want to use what's called pattern interrupts when the client tries to slide these things in. And I'm telling you right now, they do it. They're smart. They've done it before, and they're going to try to do it with you. You have to redirect because you're always polite. Even when you know that they're doing it, you're still polite. Like, oh, okay, Mr. Smith. You don't call them out because that creates conflict and tension, although you know what they're doing. So you say to them, let me see what's going to be involved with that request, right? Sounds simple, but you never know. Let me just take a look. And then you reflect the consequence without sounding combative. You say, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we could take care of that request. I want you to understand that what that's going to do is alter our schedule. It's going to now push it 3 days. And the price is going to be this. So, and here's how I go ahead and I'll write up the change order and then we could proceed. Is that what you would like me to do? You see how you language it? You let them know all the consequences, all the impacts, and then you say, would you like me to go ahead and get that paperwork over to you now so we can get going? And then I usually add, you know, if you can sign it and pay for it in the next half hour, I can still get that material order in and we can get rolling on that first thing tomorrow, no problem. So I show them that there's a sense of urgency involved. Now, again, you have to build all of you have to set the proper expectation up front. Okay. You don't wait till the moment that it happens. It doesn't work there. You have to build and set this up when you're doing your original demonstration, when you're selling the project in the very beginning. Okay. And we do that often. We have a second version of that. That's why we have the pre-construction meeting. There was a guy in here the other night who didn't think pre-construction meetings, he's like, that's going to cost too much money and time. I'm going to tell you right now, if your pre-construction meeting sets you up so that you get paid on all your change orders, then it more than pays for itself every single time. Always say to clients when you're initially meeting with them, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, houses are complicated, and I'm sure you have thousands of little projects around here that you probably are forgetting about right now that you probably want to have addressed. Anything that is outside of this scope that you're signing right now and paying this much for, we would be happy to look at and accommodate and make repairs. Anything that is outside the scope will require a change order. There you go. And then you explain the change order process. If you don't have a change order, you can put this language into your contract. You should already have a change order process in your standard written agreement. And it explains to them how change orders are to be implemented, that there is a processing fee. I would put $125 bare minimum. Some of you might charge $250 or more. I don't know. We set it at $125 bare minimum for a processing fee. If you want to be a nice guy and you want to give them some sort of credit later, you can, but you let them know that there's a fee up front, because this is what stops the homeowner from coming to you and making 1,700 different changes. If you guys are on the job and your client keeps coming to you saying, Bill, can we fix this? Can we change that? That's why you have a change order policy, and that's why you have a fee for the change order. Because the minute that the homeowner realizes that this is a professional process that you're running and not a three-ring circus, then they're going to start recognizing that maybe I don't keep coming to them every morning just because I had some crazy idea last night while I couldn't sleep, and now I want Joe to do something different, because they're expecting you to do it for free if you don't have a process in place. The minute you implement a change order policy, you're going to find that you get a whole lot less changes by the homeowner. They, for some reason, miraculously, just like their original decisions all of a sudden. It's very interesting. So understand that this is important. Clients get ideas mid-job because they're emotionally being activated and triggered by seeing progress. So you, as a professional, anticipate this, right? And you explain to them back before they ever, at the pre-construction meeting, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, it's super common for clients to get inspired midway through the project. They'll come up with a new idea. I want to make sure that we have a clean process to how we handle and address that in case that happens with you. And it's a good thing. If you want to make a change, we have a process for how we go about doing that. You always shed the light in a positive direction, right? So here is a good change order process. You name the change that they would like. You price it immediately. You document and put it in writing on a piece of paper. You send it over for approval, and you don't proceed until it's both signed and paid, completely separate. So in Remodelers, as I like to say, you don't touch the change until it's been signed and the money's in your possession now. So a lot of times, this is where I would say to you, you want to accept a credit card or be set up to get a check that day so that you can move forward. Because you don't want a change order, especially if it's something like a kitchen and a basement, you have a deadline. You can't be waiting like 3 days for the homeowner. No, Mr. and Ms. Smith, we can do that change order. You got to pay for it today, or else the schedule's going to go to shit and everything's going to fall apart. So explain to them that the implication, and they're the one that are going to be impacted by the delays. Say, we're happy to do this change, and it all hinges upon how fast you can get the paperwork back to me. So they shouldn't be waiting for you to get the paperwork. You do it immediately. Literally, your project manager, your lead carpenter, or you just do it right then and there. If this change gets discovered at 9 a.m., you should have a change order ready for them by like 11. Okay. All right. And then they should have it signed and paid for probably by 1 o'clock in a perfect world. So if you skip this, you become that free labor guy. You start eating all these costs. You start dealing with all these headaches and changes, and everybody's getting confused. You fall behind. You look unprofessional. You lose money and profit, and the client gets frustrated because the quality starts to suffer. However, if you master the change order, you're seen as like this expert, and this process is so easy. You're not a helper, right? Clients respect you for standing up and having a proper process. And also explain to homeowners, hey, we've implemented this change order because we want you to have a professional result. We want this to go smooth as possible. And this is the best thing that works for that. This is what we found over our years of experience and the 100 remodels that we've completed. The change order is the way to go. It helps us stay on time and stay on budget. And it's going to help you build more referrals. Homeowners are happy to pay for something when they understand why they're paying for it and how it's part of the process. So scope creep isn't about stopping the change. You welcome changes, but it's about you being paid and stopping any chaos that change order would try to instill or insinuate. So if you don't have a change order, you can say something like this. You can put this into AI. Hey, look, I'm a remodeling project manager for my company, and I help with doing the communications. Help me create a change order control system so that I can prevent that mid-project scope creep. I should include a simple client-facing script that I can explain the policy, and I make sure that my language is also in my original contract. Help me come up with a checklist for what qualifies. And it's a repeatable process where the pricing for presenting and the change order, how I go through it, homeowner signs, pays, and then we implement. And you can ask it for some tips on how to say no professionally to not doing free work and redirect the request back to the change order. Um, and you can use what's called that emotional intelligence, the ARI, as your languaging model throughout the process. So hopefully this makes sense to you. Not seeing. Okay, hey, Michael, I missed your comment. What? Please, yeah, please forgive me. What would you like me to repeat? What part did you miss? I don't know if he's still here, but that's what I have for you guys around change orders. So a lot. I found in the very beginning, I was nervous about implementing the change order. I felt like I'm being unreasonable, like homeowners are going to hate me for it. They're not going to want to pay. And all those were just head trash. It was all junk. The best thing we did was put in change orders. I'm going to tell you right now, if you've never done a change order, the minute you start doing it, you're going to kick yourself. Like literally, you're going to walk home after getting the first change order signed and paid for, and you're going to say to yourself, my God, I've lost so much money over the last few years. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Because the homeowners will pay for it straight up. Sure. Sometimes they're going to limit how many change orders they ask for, but I'm going to tell you right now, they pay for it. So, yeah, if there's anybody in here, if you have any questions, if there's anything I can help address about a change order, if you're not, if you're using them, awesome. Let me know that you use them, where you're from. If you don't use them, when are you going to start? All right. But otherwise, that's pretty much all I have. Thanks, Jay Allen. You've been here before. Appreciate you. Thank you for the compliment. Anything specific that that you're looking to get assistance with, or I don't know. I probably have another. I think I did a video recently on the TikTok account that goes over that change order policy as well. It's similar to what I said today. I just not really. All right. Cool. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for commenting. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Trying to think. The what else can I say? The biggest thing about a change order, like I'll be honest, like let's say we're doing $120,000 kitchen remodel, and you're going to think that you're getting paid a lot of money, and the homeowner is going to say like, hey, yeah, that living while you're doing the kitchen and you guys have could you touch up the stair hallway with some paint, right? While your painters are here, and you're going to be very tempted to want to do that for free. And what I would recommend you do is you value yourself, you value your painter, you value the process, you value the homeowner, and you say, Mrs. Smith, we absolutely can take care of that while we're here. I'm going to go ahead and write you up a change order right now. Now, what you can do is limit the cost of that change order, but there should still be a cost. So let's say you normally would charge $500 to paint a wall. So maybe you charge $450 or $425 because the painter's already there. But there should still be a charge. Why, stop it. For one thing, if it's a sub, don't ask your subs to work for free because you're afraid to charge for something. That's not fair to the subs. And they're going to hate working for you down the road if you keep telling them, oh, but they're a good client. That's the biggest BS. They're a good client. You know what I mean? They're a good client because they pay. It's like you go in, I'm telling you, it's not like you go to the grocery store and all of a sudden they just throw you this extra food. No, you still pay for it. A good client pays, gets a product, and they pay for the product that they're getting. Sure, you can offer a little bit of a discount on a change order if you choose, but you're still charging for it. And your subs, if they're doing the work, they should be getting compensated. That you said, hey, that change order, I'm going to be throwing you $200 of that change order. I don't, whatever whatever your agreement is with them, but they should know that, so that they're incentivized to be like, yeah, sure, absolutely, we'll do that change order. So you should also, here's where it gets interesting. When you have a change order with a customer, you should have a change order with your subs if you're using subs. Now, if it's a direct employee, well, that just gets added to their to-do list, whatever. Hey, you just make them aware of it. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, I don't have much else to say about it, unless somebody has any questions or wants to, tell me where they're from, tell me what's happening in the economy right now. How are you finding it? I'm finding, so understand that I talk with different groups of people. I have a group that we work together. It's like a mastermind group, and those guys are busier than they've ever been right now. So we're finding right now is an excellent time to be in the remodeling. What are you guys finding? Are you swamped? It seems to be like the economy is looking really good right now. And these are guys in various parts of the country. I think one guy's Pittsburgh, Watermouth is good. What, Jayon, remind me your specialty or niche. What type of work do you do? And then I can help you with advertising. Plumbing. Do you do service work, or are you looking to are you looking to do bathrooms? What kind of, when you say tell me what's the ideal job for you right now? Is it like to do a water heater? Are you wanting to put in new fixtures? All right. Are you familiar with BNI, Business Networking International? That is so it's a networking organization. And in my area, for instance, I can meet with a bunch of business owners and we would get breakfast. It would take just a little bit over an hour. And we'll usually meet at like a local restaurant, and they give us a private room in the back usually. And there's probably 10 of us that meet there, and we share leads and referrals for each other's business. So typically there's a realtor in the group, there's an insurance agent, there's a mortgage broker, and then there'll be a few other people. Maybe somebody owns a salon or some other local business. So here's what happens. You meeting there once a week, and you let people know the type of work that you want. So you might bring a flyer in that offers, I don't know, like some sort of a package price. Hey, so in my area, if you do a water heater, you have to put in an expansion tank, right? So what you might want to say is, hey, we're running a special right now, 60-gallon water heaters. You'll get the expansion tank at, I don't know, $100 off, whatever. Yeah, the BNI group would, for somebody like you would clean up at these groups. Now, what you'll do is you'll make like a little flyer, door hanger, postcard, whatever service. So if you want to repair and replace faucets, if you want to repair and replace toilets, water heaters, whatever is the most profitable business part that you do, and whatever you like doing and want more customers of, you make a flyer around that thing specifically. And then you take it to this group and you share it with all the people in the group. And then that realtors are always dealing with people buying and selling houses. And so they're going to be able to refer you. Now, I get it. Some realtors are cheap, but at the end of the day, nowadays in a lot of markets, the homeowner has to deal with a licensed plumber, right? Especially if it's a real estate transaction. And also, a lot of your best clients are going to be the homeowner that's buying the house and has already moved in and now needs the plumber to come in because they want to change out like 3 of the faucets in the house, or they want to put in 3 new toilets, right? So that can be a really good lead source for you. The mortgage broker, the insurance agent, all these people are constantly dealing with homeowners that are moving in and out of your area that otherwise you might not be getting. Because if it's a new person moving in, they don't know your old client to even get the referral. So you never even would have gotten the job, if you follow what I'm saying. Um, the other thing you could look at doing is, some targeted Facebook advertising, obviously, and some flyers, door hangers. Whenever you do a service call in a neighborhood, this sounds silly. I would take and go to like the 10 houses around me and I would introduce myself. I would just go and hand them a flyer and say, hey, just wanted to let you know my name's Billy, boom, or Jay Allen, here we go. We're doing some work down the street for the Joneses. And if we could ever help you out, let us know. Boom, 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 boom. And then you leave. Or you just, if no one answers, you just attach the door hanger to their doorknob. You'll be shocked at how many people come home and they have a leaky faucet or they need a new water heater. Because typically, whatever the client whatever problem you're solving for the client in the location that you are, other people in that area probably have a similar problem. So, and this might take you like a half hour, but think about this. You already drove to the client. So once you wrap up, you put all your tools in the van, you just back your vehicle out of their driveway and park it on down the street, put on a clean shirt real quick, and then just walk around and introduce yourself to the neighbors. You're not trying to sell anything. You're just saying, hey, my name's Jay Allen, Jay Allen Plumbing. Here you go. Wanted to let you know that we're in the neighborhood. That's it. If you ever need anything, if you don't already have a plumber, maybe we could help you out. And then you just hand it to them and walk away. Some people want to talk to you more. Some people won't answer the door. So if you're in the right kind of neighborhood, you could hit 50 houses within a very quick period of time. Just drop off the flyer, drop off the flyer. Don't put anything in a mailbox. That's against the law. But you can attach it to their door. You physically will have a door hanger. You can get these printed at like Staples. You can order them online, or you can just try sticking a postcard in the door jamb, or lift up the doormat if it's a covered front porch. Just put a little flyer, so it sticks out part way under their doormat. I mean, you get creative. There's a couple of different ways you can do it, but you're inevitably going to bump into people. Here's the thing. When you get out and put yourself out into the community, you inevitably will just naturally bump into somebody. They'll be pulling into their driveway as you're walking up, and you'll just, you say, hey, not trying to impose, just want to hand you a flyer. We're working down the street. And oftentimes when somebody in the neighborhood needs a problem, so that somebody else has a problem, my name's, introduce yourself, hand them the flyer, and wish them a good day. And then just keep moving on. Yeah, see, you're not soliciting. Here's the thing. Soliciting means that you're trying to sell them something that minute. And you're not walking around saying, hi, I'm here to fix your faucet or replace your water heater. It's $5, right? No, you're just introducing yourself. That is not soliciting. So yes, even in and here's the thing. The non-soliciting neighborhoods are sort of the best ones to do it sometimes because nobody else is walking around. And all you're doing is walking and introducing yourself. And look, are you going to understand this, there's always going to be that weirdo neighbor that's paranoid and is like, get off my lawn, that kind of crap. And just say, I'm sorry, I was just trying to introduce myself. I was working for your neighbor, no problem. And you just walk away. Yeah, that's going to happen. But very rarely. Most people aren't lunatics. Some people are. Just never be combative. you don't want to be combative. You just turn around and say, okay, please forgive me. So, but that would be my suggestion to something that you could start right away that doesn't cost much money at all. And then are you word of mouth is always good, plumbing contractor. Yeah, and I would do postcards. If you've never done postcards before, I'd look into sending out some postcards. Um, and you probably understand this. Like nowadays, because faucets are so cheap, everything coming out of these big box stores. I mean, like a Moen faucet isn't built like the one that you buy at a plumbing supply house is like weighs 5 pounds heavier than the one you're buying at Lowe's and Home Depot, right? It's all the components are cheaper. So what you're finding is people are having to replace faucets and toilets. These things are failing at historically high rates now. That didn't happen. So if you find neighborhoods that are even like 10 years old, you could just start mailing out flyers like, I don't know if you do vanities, count, bowl with the integrated bowl tops and the faucet. So again, it's whatever work you like doing and is most profitable for you. I would put that on a postcard and I would start and have a mailing set out. We do a thing in our area. There's a service called the Valpak. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can make a lot of money being in the Valpak. You got to stay with it. Okay. You can't just do it for 1 month. I would say you budget to where you can afford to do it for like 6 to 9 months, and then you'll see a return. If you do it for a year, even better. But don't go into so what I'm saying is when you talk to the Valpak or it, Valpak is basically, it's a coupon that gets sent with like 20 other coupons. And usually there's probably going to be HVAC company in there. There'll be like a gutter guard, a roofer, a window and door company, probably a kitchen remodeler. And if they don't already, even if they have another plumber, if they allow for a second one, I would still do it, because by luck of the draw, some people will call you, some people call the other, some people are going to call both. And it's just whatever one of you sounds more pleasant over the phone or answers the phone. Half the time your competition doesn't even answer the phone. So, I mean, winning that job is going to be just as easy as making sure you answer the damn call, or have someone in your office answer the call. Use an answering service. I don't know the size of your company, obviously. If you're just starting out, look into getting an answering service for when you're on jobs, and you're physically doing the work. If you can't answer the phone, and then you can just switch back and forth, use the answering service for like 1 to 2 hours, 4 hours, and then switch back to you taking the calls. So, but those Valpaks work well. And where I was going with the budget is just look at it whenever you start hearing whatever the monthly cost is in your mind, commit to something that you know that you can afford for like 9 months. Now, the first time you do it, it's tricky because you have no idea the volume that you're going to get back. If the sales rep for the Valpak in your area has been doing it for more than like a year or two, then he or she can give you some historical information to say, hey, like we've had another person do it, and this is kind of the return they were getting. All that stuff gets tracked for the most part. And I'm gonna tell you, we've done them before. We make money when we do them, but it takes a little while. Okay, you're not gonna just go in there 1 month and all of a sudden see a bunch of calls. But as long as you have a good you got to make sure you have a good website if you're going to do this kind of marketing and advertising, because the first thing someone's going to do is they're going to see your flyer, and then they're going to go to the web and they're going to vet you. So they're going to go to Google and they're going to type in your company name. So you at least have to have a 1-page website, a couple Google reviews, and possibly maybe just a tiny Instagram account with just a couple posts, or maybe a Facebook page with just a couple posts and a nice photo or two. I mean, you don't have to be crazy. You just have to have something so that the homeowner goes, okay, they're legitimate. And then all this other advertising will start working like crazy. But if you don't have, I don't know if you do you have a website? M. Shuka. Oh, thanks for the compliments, M. Shuka. Okay, yeah, so if you have all of that, then you're good to go. So because the way it works, homeowners, the first time they see an ad, they're going to they're going to make sure you're legit because they don't want to get scammed. So if you can prove that you're legit, that you're going to find companies that don't have a good web presence struggle with advertising because they don't understand that when they try to attract the homeowner, the first thing the homeowner does is goes online to see if the company is legit. So, and I get it. A lot of guys, when they're starting out, they don't want to invest in all that. They don't think it matters because they're like, no, I just do good work and I get all my word of mouth. Well, here's the thing. If you only get word of mouth, you're only getting the people that call you. You don't even know how many people aren't calling you because when they went to look you up, they were like, this guy's a joke. He doesn't even have a website. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So like, for people that tell me all my work's word of mouth, I'm like, brother, you might not even know how much work you're not getting if you don't have a good web presence set up. Okay. So MC I'm on the East Coast, so the Mid-Atlantic. I've worked in Virginia, DC, Pennsylvania, Maryland. We've done remodeling all throughout the Mid-Atlantic. Primarily the central part of Maryland, like it's outside of like Baltimore County area, Harford County, Howard counties, those areas. It's a very competitive area. But the people that are in some of my coaching groups, I mean, we got guys all across the country. We got California, Oklahoma, Pittsburgh, Florida, Massachusetts, Boston, Virginia, Texas. So this stuff works throughout the country. But yeah, does that help answer everything that you guys and all the questions you all had? Anybody else have any questions? The fun thing about advertising is you're going to be shocked. Once you get it down and you have an ad that works, you're going to be like, this is the best thing ever. Because it's like winning the slot machine. You're like, I put $500 in, I get 5,000 back. I put 1,000 in, I get 10,000 back. Right? I mean, when it starts working, you're going to be like, my God, how was I not doing this before? So, Facebook ads can work. You got to be, I don't know if you've done Facebook ads, there's a lot to them. You need pixels set up. You have to understand the hook, the ad. You got to really understand, the service that you're throwing out there. What problem are you solving? The days of being able to just throw a random ad out on something like a Facebook are gone. You really want to have a targeted ad that also comes with a higher price tag to some extent. You don't want just like basic service calls, in my opinion, because if it start costing you like $50 to get the client, you want to make sure you're recouping all of that in the service that you're providing, and understand that it's going to take multiple people to see the impression. So, but Facebook works really well for certain people that have it dialed in. If you don't have an agency to work with, you can always reach out to me. We can get you set up with an agency that understands how to help you dial in those other details, as opposed to just a lot of agencies are just going to take your money. They'll take whatever you throw at them, 500, 5,000 a month, whatever, and they'll throw ads out there. But there's a whole process for how that ad has to work. And you should do some very limited testing in the very beginning to make sure that the ad works first. Then once it's getting you some leads and you're noticing you're getting some people to click on the ad and reach out to you, that's when you increase the spend, obviously. But yeah, job site signs are very important. So depending on the types of neighborhoods you're working in, especially if you work in like neighborhoods that are like out in like a county area. Where I mean is like you have to drive, and then there's like maybe some pillars, and there's windy streets. And if you're doing the house towards the front of the community, you should talk to the homeowner. Say, hey, I would even offer a discount on the service if they're willing to let you put a sign if their community allows it. Some people have HOAs and they're against this stuff. You got it. So, you know, understand that when I talk, like it's not like every single thing is going to work every single time. Things are more complicated than that. But I would always bring up to the homeowner, any homeowner that I'm about to do a job with, I'll be, hey, can you tell me a little about your community? Say one of the things that's worked out well for a lot of my other clients is we will put out a job sign in the yard, and I would try to do it for 2 weeks minimum, see if the homeowner would do it. If you have a homeowner that's in a high traffic area and they're a very cool homeowner, I've even gone so far as to pay them to let me put the sign on their property. So, I mean, you got to be creative. Um, and then you talk to them about putting a sign in the yard. So those can work really well. You'd be shocked. Because think about this. I do this myself. If one of my neighbors is getting work done and I need that same work done, a lot of times I'm like, that company right there is going to be one of the companies I call because they must be pretty good because my neighbor called them. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to hire them, but I'm at least going to call them and talk to them, right? It's so because otherwise, like if I don't know who else to call, and most homeowners, it's not like they know 30 contractors, like we have a lot of contractor connect friends because we're in the business, but the average homeowner, they don't know who to call. So a lot of times they end up calling the company that is already in the neighborhood and done work. So you need to capitalize on that. All right. Again, unless somebody has any questions, please pop them in the chat. Not always certain how many people are on these things. But yeah, you're welcome. Just to understand, yeah, you look, when you're starting out, it might be too much to try to do all of it at once. Just start doing something. And over time, it'll get easier and you'll add all this. And before you know it, you'll be swamped. And you'll be raising your prices and then you'll be swamped again. You'll be raising your prices again. You'll be swamped. So the more you get your name out there, the more people are going to call you. Everybody that has a home needs a plumber, right? I mean, things go wrong. And the way things are built so cheap these days, like my girlfriend and I, we were in a house recently, and it's new to us, right? The previous homeowner had a faucet put in 5 years ago and it already failed. I had to go and replace the faucet. It was barely 5 years old and it was a Moen, right? You're like, things are just built poorly. 702. Thanks, Goat. Appreciate it. If I can help you with anything, you have any specific questions, please let me know. But yeah, I mean, things in the plumbing world today, I mean, the average product that the homeowner is purchasing from the big box store is cheap. The components wear out faster than ever. I swear that they've changed the chemicals in all the washers, so the washers seem to be disintegrating faster than ever before. I don't know if you get into doing washers and dryers and stuff like that, but those things are failing at higher rates than they've ever failed before. Um, so, I mean, I would say that for the most part, you should be busy. It's just a matter of you need to let more people know that you exist. Is the also get in touch with some realtors, get in touch with some landlords. Not all landlords are cheap, some are, but the older ones that have been doing it for a few more years, they tend to really like working with a professional, and they're going to pay top dollar because they only want to have the repair done once. So Yeah, just bought a new one yourself. I hear you. Yeah. Small business. All right. Yeah, I was shocked. Years ago, I didn't understand. I was in a plumbing supply house and I asked the sales rep, I was like, tell me, and he physically handed me the Moen faucet that they sell, the plumbing supply company. And then he showed me, like, this is go over to Home Depot or Lowe's right now, because we have those both in our area. And he's like, pick up this model number and feel how heavy it is compared to what we offer. And I could tell right away. I was like, it was a night and day difference. I mean, I'm talking like several pounds, probably like 2 or 3 pounds minimum. And he was explaining like all the bushings, all the components, all the washers, everything is just much more uh, well machined. It's thicker. It lasts longer. So there really is something to be said. Now, look, when I meet with homeowners and we're doing kitchens and baths, I just share the information with them. I let them know that the faucet that they get from our plumbing supply house is much higher quality. Yes, it costs more, but what it doesn't have is an associated expiration date of like 2 to 3 years, where you're going to be hiring a plumber to come out and fix that. Like you'll at least get 5 to 10 years out of it. So, you know, I give the homeowner the option, but I get it. Some homeowners just want the cheapest thing. Small business, bars, ice cream shops. Okay. What part of the country are you in? How do you do warranty on materials? So we would just do materials. If we're supplying them, it's manufacturer's warranty. We're gonna remind the Las Vegas. Okay. So we're gonna install whatever material, and then we're gonna follow the manufacturer's recommendation. The homeowners got to fill out a warranty card, right? Like, especially if so I'll go back to faucets, for instance. That manufacturer wants you to fill out the warranty card. You got to send it in. You do those things, then you're gonna have a warranty. If you don't, you're probably not gonna have a warranty. And what's funny about warranties. A lot of times, nothing on customer. Correct. Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of doing anything for the homeowner that supplies it. And because here's the thing, once you get into the business a little bit longer, and I don't know where you guys are in your journey, there are there are homeowners out there that aren't trying to nickel and dime and save a penny on supplying everything's thing. And smart homeowners recognize that they want a professional who's going to get them good stuff. They don't want to spend their time. Now, cheap homeowners want to spend their time trying to save money, but your wealthy clients, they spend their time trying to make more money. They don't have time to be dicking around with finding a faucet that's $100 cheaper. They're hiring the professional to come out and do that for them so that they can focus on their main business, which is making them even more money. So that's why I suggest that a lot of you guys, when you can, you start shifting your marketing and your advertising and your clientele, and get into that clientele base where it's people that have a little bit more money and they're not nickel and diming. If the homeowner lets me know that they have enough time to be sitting around all day long just trying to save money, it lets me know that I'm not dealing with the right homeowner. I want to be dealing with the homeowner who's spending their time trying to figure out how to make more money. Not these. There's a difference if you follow what I'm saying. So yeah, I would. We don't want to do anything that the homeowner already supplies, if possible. And if look, I get it. If you're there and the homeowner wants you to do something, you have to explicitly go over the fact that there's no warranty on what they're supplying, and then you do the job and you move on. And it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. 5 months. Yeah. So, yeah, good things. Yeah, Las Vegas is a good market to be in. You have a lot of wealthy people that live in Las Vegas. A lot. You have a lot of it's become a huge market for these content creators, right? Um, a lot of the people that are making their money off of YouTube and Instagram accounts. Yeah, so figure out if I would figure out a way to try to get myself in front of some of these content creators and start having them as clients. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if somebody's making like $500,000 a year, they're most likely they ain't got the time to be getting all the materials unless it's part of a brand deal. Okay, like yeah, if there's a content creator and they're someone's a big manufacturer's giving them a certain product, then yeah, I would do that job for sure. But otherwise, no. Moving up to a restricted contractor here next month. So, okay, nice. Yeah, I guess you guys have different stages for your licensing. Yeah, casino executives, sure. They're making some bank. Yeah. And here's the thing, people that are making money, like they're problem solvers. So at the end of the day, they're just hiring you to solve their home problem, and they don't want to typically be too much involved. They're going to initially make sure that they're hiring someone capable, but once you get in and do a good job, if you just take care of all the issues for them, keep them in, communicate well, keep them informed, keep the house clean, do all the nice things, um, they're going to help you a lot. Yeah, so you reach out through the TikTok or reach out through the Instagram account. All right, everything's the Remodeling Academy, uh, and yeah, you can send me a message and we can set something up. That's not a problem. But yeah, you guys definitely want to do what you can to just work for busy people. That's the other thing, and they don't always have to be wealthy. You just want to work for people that are busy. Because people that are idle, people that don't have a lot going on, they just can get they worry and they end up putting their time and energy into like what you're doing. And that's not what you want. You don't want somebody over your shoulder because they don't have a busy enough life themselves. You know what I'm saying? Those aren't the kind of people that you want to work for. You want to work for people that are like busy doing their thing that they're great at and they're talented at. That way they appreciate and the fact that they're hiring you because you're great at and talented at what you're doing. Those are the best clients I find to work for. So, anything else I can help anybody with? Thank you for the, yeah, appreciate it. Caesar. Yep, hello, Geezer Caesar. Yep. Yeah, so for those of you that might have missed the content earlier, you can go to if you go to the YouTube channel for the Remodeling Academy under workshops, we have all the lives go there, and you can catch any of the content that you might have missed. Thank you for the content. You have helped change things. Yeah, man. Awesome. Glad it helped. Thank you for the letting me know. So, and I'm glad it works. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Yep. Good game. All right. Well, on that note, I think we're gonna shut it down unless somebody has another question. Yeah, thank you. 702 appreciate it. All right, Jay Allen, take care. Good being here, and appreciate the rest of you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you.